Hey everybody, it's my first live. This is exciting. Let's see. Hey, welcome. I'm Z. I use they, he, and Z pronouns, and we are listening to Septober. Hey, thanks for joining. Where are you joining from? I'm in Indakina, so-called Vermont. Listening to some chill beats by Septober, a really awesome black beats maker. And it's just a resting day on the farm today. Oh, nice. Virginia. Yeah, I've done some awesome kayaking and canoeing in Virginia. It's so beautiful. How do you like it? Do you like it there? Oh, the cats are having a good time. Got to. It's okay. Everything's okay. Cats. Welcome. Hanging out with me. I'm Z at Abolition in Action Farms in Indakina, so-called Vermont. Yeah, I feel you. I like to travel as well, but there's no place like home. Yeah, I don't know if y'all already know, but we are a collective community space created on Abenaki land for the healing, wellness, and survival of Black folks, whether folks self-identify as African or Americanized African, Afro-Indigenous. Yeah, and also we are led by Black, trans, and queer folks. Most of us are disabled as well and chronically ill. So in support of our kin, all of our awesome in-person workshops, events, giveaways, we mask so that we keep each other safe. And hey, welcome. And yeah, our farm, I'm going to go over some of the awesome seeds that were donated that will be either gifted away at our Black seed swap and shares that we're going to be having this year, or they're going to be planted in pots to give away to folks in urban areas where they might not have access to land, or they're going to be grown on the land right here. Welcome. So let's see some of the seeds we have gifted were beets. We're not sure what type of beets these are. Let's see. We were also gifted Mirage corn. It's non-GMO and organic. That's really exciting. Has anyone here grown corn or wanted to grow corn? We're going to try this pal out this year. We're going to do the Three Sisters method, the corn, beans, and squash. We're on Abenaki and Munsee Mohican stewarded land. Thanks for joining us today. And let's see, we also have organic, non-GMO Swiss chard, board hook giant. Ooh, that's exciting. It's especially great for if you're somewhere where it's colder. And if you or someone you know likes to grow food or herbs or perennial flowers for the land or the bees and the butterflies, share this live with them or check out our content for our tips on how to grow things without any capital. Just growing in community, sharing with our neighbors, whether that be tools or seeds or time and space. And thank you everybody for joining us at Abolition in Action Farms in Indakina, so-called Vermont. And we're listening to the amazing sounds of Septober Beats, an awesome black beats maker. Let's see, what else do we have? Best Boy Hybrid Organic and Non-GMO Tomatoes. If anyone wants to grow tomatoes, drop an emoji, drop tomatoes. Let's see. We also have Pruden's Purple Tomato. Ooh, that's exciting. Non-GMO and organic. And again, we got all of these for free. We just offer community to folks and they return it sometimes. So we got Waltham 29 broccoli, non-GMO and organic. Who loves broccoli? Drop a green heart if you love broccoli. Especially when it's fresh. We got red Russian kale, non-GMO and organic seeds. Because we want to be kind to the land and our bodies, and seeds are ancestors, and we do our best to keep the cultural and historical integrity of seeds in our space. We have watermelon, non-GMO and organic, baby doll watermelon. Has anyone grown watermelon in here? And if you have, where did you grow it? How did it feel? What did it taste like? Or if you just had really amazing watermelon in your life that somebody else grew. You supported a local farmer. We also have winter squash. It says Burgess Buttercup, non-GMO and organic winter squash. Let's see, we have Freckles lettuce. Red romaine with a unique coloring, non-GMO and organic. And it's like local as well. It's certified locally organic in so-called Vermont. Let's see, we have bouquet dill. That's exciting, bouquet dill. It's versatile and fast-growing. You use fresh or dried leaves for cooking, large seed heads for pickling. Flowering plants attract bees and reach up to 3 feet tall. 3 feet tall. That's exciting. And thank you everybody who just joined. I'm Z. I use they, he, and Z pronouns, and I am a no-till and organic farmer in Indakina, so-called Vermont. Just sharing some of the awesome seeds that we were gifted that we're going to be either sharing in giveaways, swaps, and shares, or growing. Green finger cucumber, non-GMO and organic green finger cucumber. We got baby Pam pumpkin. Ooh, I love a good pumpkin. We're definitely going to pick them in community this year. So if you're in the area, you can come and volunteer and pick pumpkins with us this year. Let's see. Long purple eggplant. When to sow outside 2 to 4 weeks after your average last frost date. and when outside air temperature is above 60 degrees. It is non-GMO and organic, open pollinated, and untreated. That's exciting. Anyone here ever wanted to grow eggplant or has already grown eggplant? Drop a purple heart. And where did you grow it? And where are you? And where would you want to grow it? We also have Black Beauty eggplant. Sow it 2 to 4 weeks after your average last frost. Sorry, not recommended 2 to 4 weeks after your last frost, so you need to harvest it then. You put it outside 2 weeks after your last frost. Open pollinated and untreated. It's exciting. Doesn't it look yummy? Another favorite, yes. Redbird Garden in Virginia. Eggplant is so fun to grow, and it just looks so cool. Like, as it's growing, it can be a different color than when you harvest it. Like, it can be white, it can be white and purple, it can be purple. There's so many different types of eggplant. We are not a monolith. Plants are not a monolith. There's sweetie cherry tomatoes, non-GMO and organic from Walcott, Vermont. These are local, y'all. Yes, another favorite. So happy to hear from other folks who are taking back the power over our food and growing it together with the land and with each other. It's really exciting. We got Lacinato dinosaur kale, also non-GMO and organic from Walcott, Vermont, so-called Vermont, home of Muncie Mohican and Abenaki folks. Some of the original farmers of this land. Welcome, welcome, everybody. I'm Z. I use they, he, and Z pronouns. I'm a farmer going over some awesome seeds we're going to grow and share this year. Howden pumpkin, non-GMO, and organic seeds. Who's ready to grow or eat some pumpkins this year? We got some light red kidney dry beans. Who's ready to eat some of these or grow some of these this year? Oh yeah. Let's see. We have sweet marjoram. Highly perfumed herb with thick spikes of dainty pinkish white flowers. Similar flavor and habit as oregano, its cousin, but more mild and sweet. You can use fresh or dry for a more intense flavor. It's a tender perennial, and perennial just means that it keeps coming back and it keeps coming back and it keeps coming back. You don't have to necessarily save the seeds yourself every year and re-sow them or replant them. If you leave them alone in certain areas, they will replant themselves. So that's really exciting. It loves full sun, well-drained soil. Direct sow as soon as the frost has passed in your area. And you can start transplant 6 to 8 weeks before your last frost. Look at that pretty marjoram. Smells so good. Has anybody ever had marjoram before? Let's see. Dagan Brussels sprouts. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Let's see. Easy, reliable variety with tall, straight stalks that resist falling over. No topping required. Tightly wrapped sprouts with a bright medium green color and a small attachment site for easy snapping off during harvest. Just nice. You have the seeds. Well, this will be my first time growing them as well, so maybe we can share some tips. We'll be posting videos of our growing process, so that'll be cool. Let's see who else we got. Welcome, welcome. Let's see, we have shishito pepper. It's a small, mild Japanese pepper with thin walls that blister and char easily. When pan-fried, roasted, or grilled, taking on a rich flavor that is delicious with coarse salt and lemon juice. Typically harvested green, but eventually turns orange and red with sweeter flavor. Planting tips. Peppers are long season, heat-loving annuals which require transplanting to reach full maturity in most areas. So if they're an annual, that means that you need to save their seeds. No, you're allergic. That's terrible. That's terrible. Welcome, welcome. For everybody who just joined, I'm Z. I use they, he, and Z pronouns. And I'm a no-till organic farmer in so-called Vermont. The indigenous name is Indakina from Abenaki and Munsee Mohican folks. So we're just going over some of the seeds we got gifted and things we'll be trying to grow or be giving away at our seed swap and shares this year. So let's see, these are open pollinated. That means like they're not in the lab where they're making sure that bees do not like hop on any other plant. You know, you just kind of let the bees do their thing. You enjoy the process, and that's okay. Optimal soil temperature for germination is 75 to 85 degrees. So you want to wait till, you know, it's spring is fully in motion. There's no more winter chill left. Let's see. Store seeds in a cool, dry place, y'all. As an indigenous seed sanctuary facilitator, we are kind to our seeds. We pay attention to where they'll grow best. And we also mix a solution of water, vinegar, baking soda, and sugar to feed them. If we have aloe that is mature enough, we will blend it all up with some aloe as well. And that is really helpful as starting your seeds, giving them some rooting stimulant, some extra feed, especially if you're someone like us who's no-till and organic. We're not using any like synthetic fertilizers or anything like that. So we just use what the land has for us to give the seeds the best chance. So let's see what else we'll be growing or giving away this year. And welcome everybody to our dream space, our space to think about the farm and what we want to do with it. We are a 10-acre space in Indakina, so-called Vermont, but we have about like 5 acres that is growable. We do both agroforestry, where we're going to be growing different like botanicals like American ginseng deep in the forest that they just sit there for like 6 to 10 years. They're slow grow. They just help the rhizomes in the ground in the forest connect. They help prevent erosion, especially because we are in a really hilly area. And then we also will be planting in the plain and hill areas. Again, all organic and no-till, using no synthetic or so-called organic fertilizers. We're going to be growing tomatillo, toma verde, tomatillo, apple green fruit with papery husk, which splits open and falls to the ground when ripe. Often used in salsa verde or green salsa when immature and tangy. sweet and yellowish when fully ripe. Some planting tips: warm, season tender, annual. So annual means we're going to plant them every year. They don't just replant themselves. That prefers full sun and soils with moderate fertility. Start seeds 6 to 8 weeks before planting date inside if you're able to. Optimal soil temp for germination is 75 to 85 degrees. So if you're direct sowing, just pay attention to that. You can set transplants out after danger of frost has passed, 18 inches apart in a single row with support and trellis. Harvest when fruit breaks paper wrapper open. It'll look so cool. Tomatillo. Anybody in here ever grown tomatillo or had tomatillo and been like, oh, that would be cool to grow, like, or is considering that in this moment even? We also have amaranth cabbage. It is in the brassica family. It is strikingly beautiful red on compact heads with a good crunch. It's sweet and juicy, short stems and highly flattened outermost leaves make heads visible and easy to harvest. It has a tolerance to heat, which helps for early and main season growing. A little planting tip. It's a hardy biennial grown as an annual, so it's best recommended to harvest the seeds. Let some of it go to seed, right? It performs best in cool conditions, so it's good for somewhere that's cold a lot, like in the Northeast. You can direct seed after danger of hard frost has passed, or start transplant 4 to 6 weeks before planting date. You know it's mature when the tight outer leaf of the head begins to fold back on itself. Oh, the kitties are excited. Anybody here care for cats? I love animals, human animals, non-human animals, cats, dogs, guinea pigs, pigs, goats, cows. I love cows, and sheep, and whales, and every type of fish. All the animals. Some more red Russian kale, non-GMO and organic. It has a sweet flavor that's distinct. Bright purple stems with slate green, deeply lobed foliage. Leaves are tender and smooth, and you can grow as baby leaf or full-size plant. Planting tips. So, kale is a hardy biennial that will overwinter in milder climates and can be grown for baby leaf or full-size crops. I am to have 2 Sphinx, but had to rehome because I'm very allergic. Oh no. Well, I'm proud of you for giving them away. Sorry to hear that you're allergic. Redbird Garden. Yeah, I'm allergic to kiwi, but I love kiwi so much. It's so tough. I only have kiwi like once a year on my birthday, usually. And just a little bit because it just makes my tongue itch and swell. And like, yeah, being allergic to something you love is so tough. Proud of you. Let's see, we have peace vine, cherry tomato, peace. Perfectly round 1-inch red tomatoes are plentiful and early with up to 18 tomatoes per cluster. Warm season tender annuals that prefer full sun and soils with moderate fertility. You can start indoors 6 to 8 weeks before your planting date. Optimal soil temp for germination is 75 to 85 degrees. You can set your transplants out after danger of frost has passed. 1 row and center bed with support and trellis. Harvest tomatoes fully ripe. For best flavor, you want to put them about 4 feet apart. Plant them about 1/4 inch deep and store the seeds in a cool, dry place. You cried for months because you loved your cats. Yeah, it's so sad. I, at one point, was really allergic to dogs and cats, and then all of a sudden wasn't allergic to dogs and cats, and then am really allergic now to pollen instead from, like, trees. And, yeah, it can be tough because I really love being outside, and I'm sending love to you and your kitties and their new happy home. Welcome, welcome. I am Z for anyone who's new. I use they, he, and Z pronouns, and I am a organic no-till farmer in Indakina, so-called Vermont. And happy Black History Month to everybody. We're going over some of the organic and non-GMO, or organic or non-GMO seeds that we were gifted last year that we'll be growing or giving away at our seed swap and shares for multi-marginalized folks throughout the East Coast. We do seed shares where we will mail once we have enough offerings given to the space. We have funds to mail out care packages with seeds, love notes, and all sorts of wonderful goodies. Often we've given out binders for trans folks. We've sent out herbs from our free apothecary for multi-marginalized folks. Right now in our apothecary we have Fossen's catnip, we have lemon balm, and these seeds are all organic and local. Let's see, we also have echinacea. I'm looking at the apothecary. Mugwort, peppermint, tulsi or holy basil. Let's see, sage, thyme. Thyme is really great for fatigue. If you are someone that struggles with fatigue, thyme, especially fresh, has been really helpful for me. Put it in a tea. Sprinkle it towards the end of cooking in your food, especially in a time where who knows what will happen to access to institutional medical care. We can still care for each other and meet our own needs together. One of the biggest reasons I became a full-time organic no-till farmer on the East Coast, specifically in Indakina, so-called Vermont, is because I just want to support sharing as many skills, seeds, plants, and space for us to heal and to grow as we can. And happy Black History Month. What else are we going to grow or give away this year? We have early jalapeno hot peppers. Anyone in here a fan of hot peppers? Drop a heart. Share this live with your community because we have peppers that are early ripening with a hot bite. It can be eaten when dark green or wait until they ripen to a deep red. Compact plants that are sturdy and work well in containers. They are long-season, heat-loving annuals, which require transplanting to reach full maturity in most areas. Start transplants indoors 6 to 8 weeks before planting date. After the danger of frost is over, the best temperature to sow them is 75 to 85 degrees and harvest quickly when they're ready to encourage higher yields of the ripe peppers. It was so great to meet you virtually and hope you have a good night. Bye. Redbird Garden. Let's see, we have glass gem corn. There's so many different nutrients in corns that are not monoculture colonial corns. So we were gifted glass gem corn. Each year displays a gorgeous, unique variation of colors ranging from purples, greens, and blues to oranges, yellows, pinks, and deep reds. Can be popped, ground, or parched. And again, you want to grow this with the Three Sisters method with beans and squash. So you want to start growing beans, squash, and corn together. That's the best way to make sure that they actually grow. Let's see, we have organic, non-GMO, Chadwick cherry tomatoes. Only takes 8 to 14 days to germinate. Only takes 80 days after that to grow to full maturity. You plant them 1/4 inch deep, 2 to 4 inches apart, 5 to 7 weeks before you plant them outside. If you can, try to cultivate them in little pots like this one inside. This is our Mother of Thousands. For folks that give to our survival programs, you can request Mother of Thousands. If you're local to Indakina, Vermont, or Lenape-Hocking, Philly, you can also request one of our organic pothos plants in water. Isn't the roots so cool? Look at those roots. So cool. We have Greek oregano. Especially Italian dishes, it's great for cutting stems as needed for fresh use, or harvest and hang to dry once flowers open. They're a hardy perennial, so they'll come back every year wherever you plant them, as long as you plant them early enough. They're hardy to zone 5, often grown as an annual though, and you save the seeds just to be safe. It prefers full sun and well-drained soil. Start transplant 8 to 10 weeks before planting date if you can indoors. Seeds require light for germination, unlike a lot of other seeds. Seedlings are small and best planted in clumps. Vigorous plants can spread quickly, keep edge to maintain. So these are best grown in a bed or in a pot because they will spread and take over if you let them. And another thing about being a mindful steward of the land when you're growing is not planting seeds that are not native to the land. And if they are not native to the land, growing them in contained spaces so that they will not spread and harm native plants in the area. That's really, really important. Really important, y'all. So we have perennial catnip, known as the feline aphrodisiac used to flavor teas and salads for humans. Coarsely toothed, downy gray-green foliage and small blue flowers. The whole plant is fragrant and lovely. The plant grows up to 18 to 30 inches. It only takes 75 days to fully grow. Grow them 12 inches apart. Days to germination, 14 to 28. Prefers full sun to partial shade. Plant 1/8 of an inch deep. So that's not very deep at all, just tiny bit. Welcome, welcome. I'm a no-till organic farmer, and we are going over some seeds we're either going to give away or grow here in our collective space today. We're going over seeds today, and you're listening to Septober, an amazing black beats maker, soundscaper. And our space, one of the things we're committed to, we do not sell seeds. We do not buy seeds. We share and swap them. We receive them as offerings. We have a P.O. box if you want to share seeds with us. We exist in direct opposition to environmental racism, health racism, colonialism, imperialism, the climate crisis, and any denial of it, because that's silly. Any other form of cis-hetero patriarchy, trans-misogynoir, and all other forms of domination and perfectionism. If you want to know what any of those words mean, if you need to know the spelling, it's an easy Google A lot of communities are at risk and are being oppressed at the baseline, basically at the end of the day. And we just want to be in community with each other. We want to grow food with each other. We want to feed and house and care for each other and make sure that our needs are met no matter what happens in the current administration. I myself am Z, and I am a detribalized and disabled Afro-Panamanian and Black farmer. I grew up in the Deep South, where I was a community caregiver for the last decade, and after being displaced from Taino, Tocoaga, and Calusa lands almost 2 years ago, I spent the time before I made it here at the end of last summer in Lenape-Hocking, so-called Philadelphia, and I co-founded a food sovereignty project here and there because I just want to see us grow. I just want to see us win. We center reparations. Why? In 1860, over $3 billion was the value assigned to the physical body of enslaved Black folks to be used as free labor and production. This was more money than was invested in factories and railroads combined. In 1861, the values placed on cotton produced by enslaved Black folks was valued at $250 million. Slavery, chattel slavery specifically, not the carceral slavery that we see today, in this part of Abya Yala, so-called the United States. Chattel slavery enriched white slave-owning folks and their descendants, and it fueled the country's economy while suppressing wealth building for enslaved folks. The U.S. has yet to compensate the descendants of enslaved Black folks for our labor, nor has the federal government atoned for lost equity before anti-Black housing, transportation, and business policy that we can clearly see today. Slavery, Jim Crow segregation, anti-Black practices like redlining, carceral slavery, and other discriminatory public policies in criminal injustice and miseducation have robbed Black folks like myself of opportunities to build wealth, which legally we'll define here as assets minus debt, which is afforded to our white peers. Much of what I just said was researched and applied and written about by Rayshawn Ray and Andre M. Perry, incredible writers, thinkers, and caregivers. Also, for public health in our amazing spaces, both in Indakina, so-called Vermont, and Lenape-Hocking, so-called Philadelphia, we ask that folks use the restroom on the way to our either small urban farm in Lenape-Hocking, Philly, or Indakina, Vermont. If you are able to visit, you must be vetted beforehand, and for safety, we do not share our address publicly. We center rest, so recoup when your body says so. When you're around us, it's safe to do so. Our expectations are that non-Black people should research anti-Blackness and commit to unpacking their own. Welcome, welcome. We're just talking about some of our expectations in our collective spaces at Abolition in Action Farms. I'm Z. I use they, he, and Z pronouns. An example is not using AAVE, Americanized African Vernacular English. How we treat the land will center Indigenous sovereignty. All plants grown in ground will be from native or acclimated diaspora seeds, as an example of living that value. When you're around us, it's safe to be mindful of your body and others around you. We center consent and autonomy of the most marginalized folks in the space. We don't unmask except to eat or drink when we're having community events. We do not touch anyone without asking. If you have questions or thoughts about anything I've just said, look up AAVE, Babbel, Babbel. On Google, there's some great literature on that. You can also look up Colonized Diets, Food Revolution, and amazing articles will come up there. On YouTube, you can look up Teaching Consent Santa Monica as well for an awesome video on consent. Now, what do we offer, right? One of the things we offer is at our free seed swap and shares for multi-marginalized folks. Some of the seeds that we'll be sharing this year: Blacktail Mountain watermelon seeds, an icebox favorite with a crisp texture and sweet flavor that rivals hybrids. Dark green melons with orangey red flesh and weigh 6 to 10 pounds and measure 8 inches across. Planting tips: watermelons are warm season annuals that grow best in fertile, well-drained soil. Start transplants 4 weeks before planting date. Direct seed or transplant 1 to 2 weeks after danger of frost has passed. 1 row in center of bed. Can also be planted in hills of 3 to 5 plants in rows 3 to 5 feet apart. What else are we giving out? Listada di Gandia eggplant, a specialty purple striped Italian eggplant with oval egg shape. Plants are very productive and fruits are tender and delicious. Average 6 to 8 inches long. Warm season tender annual. Sow seeds indoors 8 to 12 weeks before planting date. Optimal soil temperature for germination is 85 degrees, so you want to wait till it's really warm. Plant outdoors when daytime temperatures are at least 65 degrees and nighttime temperatures are above 50 degrees. Mulch and floating row cover will help to raise temps and ward off insects. Sow them 1/4 inch deep. They can grow up to 24 inches. Space them at least 30 inches apart in the rows. Yeah, has anybody grown eggplant or like to eat eggplant? Welcome, welcome. And let's take a deep breath if you wanna. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in. If you have some tea or have some water, take a sip. If your body feels called to do so. Carmen peppers, the standard bearer for sweet Italian frying peppers in Corno di Toro class. Early maturing on medium-sized plants can be harvested at green or allowed to ripen to deep red. Unbelievably sweet and green. Sweet and crisp flavor. Peppers are long-seasoned, heat-loving annuals which require transplanting to reach full maturity in most areas. Start transplant 6 to 8 weeks before planting date. After the danger of frost is gone. Optimal soil temperature for germination is 75 to 85 degrees. It's pretty warm, y'all. Harvest promptly to encourage higher yields of the ripe peppers. Yum. What else do we offer? Survival skill shares, eco-bricking. Ooh, what are eco-bricks? I'll show you. Give me just 1 second. All right, let's see. Welcome, welcome. Some of the things that Abolition in Action Farms offers is survival skill shares. Now, what is this? Has anyone heard of an eco-brick before? If you've heard of an eco-brick, raise your hand. Put a hand. If you've never heard of an eco-brick before, put a brain exploded face because your brain is about to be exploded. So this is what an eco-brick is. You take a clean, empty plastic water bottle. You take a bunch of non-recyclable plastic and you stuff that bottle until it is a hard brick. at ecobricks.org, ecobrics.org. You can see the like actual density that it needs to be based on milliliters. But basically, you take this, and then you can make cob from river sand, clay, and water, which we have abundant where we are. And then you have the eco brick, you have the cob from outside mortar. You put them together, you can make outdoor seating, you can make furniture, you can make sheds, you can make housing, and we can make it completely for free by just getting together as a community. It's pretty awesome. We also do workshops about communicating with caged neighbors, carceral slavery support for folks inside jails, prison, immigrant detention centers. We also do cultural competency trainings for farms, collectives, cooperatives, affinity groups, institutions, and individuals. We do plant and seed swaps and giveaways. Let's see what we'll be giving away. Cherokee purple tomato, brownish purple skin with green shoulders and red flesh. Large beefsteak fruit weighs in at 12 to 16 ounces. Believed to trace back over 100 years to Cherokee indigenous folks. Warm season tender annual that prefers full sun and soils with moderate fertility. Soil seed 6 to 8 weeks before planting date. Optimal soil temp for germination is 75 to 85 degrees. Make sure you have a support or trellis. Harvest tomatoes fully ripe for best flavor. Plant them a 1/4 inch deep. 7 to 14 days for them to pop up out of that soil. They get up to 4 feet tall. Some humans are 4 feet tall. Isn't that fun? What else are we going to grow? Mizuna Asian greens. This Japanese mild mustard has dark green, beautifully fringed leaves, very vigorous and high yielding. Tender white stalks add shape and taste varieties to your salads. Can be grown for baby leaf or full size from early spring through late summer. Baby leaves approximately 2 to 4 inch bands, rows spacing 2 to 3 inches. Full size, they grow up to 12 inches tall, a foot. Yeah, that's exciting. All right, well, sending y'all all the care and support. If you want to give, there's a link in bio for our website. If you want to come to our April wellness retreat for Black trans folks, it's completely free. We just haven't yet been able to raise funds for your flights or your trains or your gas if you're local, but we at least can cover everything else, food, lodging, all that good stuff. Sending all the care and joy, loving you, community. Keep loving and caring for